Ever since I was a kid, I would get these really, really, really bad infections. It would first start with canker sores, then a day or two later lead into fevers. It was clockwork. And I knew that in 4 to 6 weeks I was gonna get sick. And I could see right here, right, that my tonsils were inflamed and had these little flecks of white on them. What was really strange is that would immediately lead to these strange tonsil stones. But when you press down on them, they smush and they have this terrible, terrible odor.
Dr. Brian Weeks with the Center Clinic is going to do a tonsillectomy for you. He's agreed to do that for free for you.
Thank you so much, doctor.
After coming on the show, Drake met with board-certified ear, nose, and throat surgeon, Dr. Brian Weeks, for a consultation and was quickly cleared for a tonsillectomy. We, of course, were there every step of the way.
The first thing is getting good exposure. So we'll use this retractor just to look thoroughly at the tonsils and the throat. What I'll do is use the plasma blade to just gently cut along the edge of the throat. And the tonsils sit on a muscle in the throat. So the idea is going to be to find the plane of the tonsil, make sure we get all the tonsil tissue, but not get into that muscle tissue, because that will prolong the healing time and make for more pain after surgery. So there the tonsil is coming out. So I'd like to cut the tonsil up, see what it looks like inside. That's a pretty good sized cavity, but it's kind of covered up by the edge of the tonsil, so food and particles get trapped in there. The bacteria that frequently cause the infection produce a sulfur-type odor called actinomycosis. This is very, very typical of what we'd see in somebody who's had chronic tonsillitis, chronic tonsil stone formation. There's another tonsil stone. Now we'll move to the other side and take out the other tonsil. I think he's going to have a great result. I'm really satisfied with his treatment today.
And joining us now is Drake, along with Dr. Brian Weeks. And Drake, I know this was so frustrating for you and difficult. I felt for you when you were on the stage. So how have you been since the tonsillectomy?
Never better. I've honestly never felt better in my whole life.
Symptoms improved? No.
Oh, fantastic.
Dr. Weeks, really slick surgery. I was really impressed. And you know, you think of tonsillectomies as being bloody and messy. I mean, there wasn't a drop of blood there in the field, and
I think it's like everything. It's about getting in the right plan, kind of like watching you do lip surgery, Drew. It's,
well,
you know, you get in the right plan, you do.
Thank you, but I mean, I
think
think that's a big change for adults going through tonsillectomy now, because the techniques have improved so much that you can do it with less blood, less trauma, quicker recovery.
But did you still get ice cream afterwards?
Oh, I certainly did.
And Dr. Weeks, before we go to break, when should someone maybe bring up with their primary care doc, hey, should I go see an ear, nose, and throat specialist? Do these potentially need to be looked at for coming out?
I think when a constellation of symptoms, you know, sore throat, fatigue, malaise, and certainly the tonsillis or the stones, when they start coming out, you know, you have chronic kind of production of this debris. I mean, that's indicative of a chronic low-grade infection, which is like any other infection. It takes its toll on your body over time and leaves you with a low-grade infection all the time. So those are the times when I think it needs to be brought to your primary care attention, and certainly they can make an appropriate referral for this.
Yeah, and worst case scenario, you go see your ENT and they say, okay, we don't need to take those out. But I think it's a great takeaway if you're having these chronic sore throats and issues like Drake was. We're just happy that you had the result you deserve. Dr. Weeks, thank you as well.
So pleasure.